There's one more shape I was going to add, and that is a donut shape. So I'm going to make this one, make it 30 by 30. And then I'm going to make another circle that is 10 by 10 on the inside. And that's going to leave these lines to be around 10 millimeters across, which is kind of large for a donut shape because you're mostly going to use this for um, creating eyelets, and it's just something that I create very often. You can also use it in the center of your flowers. Um, it has a lot of uses. So select those two, and I am going to fill them just so that you can see when I go object or path difference, it creates a separation there. So there's nothing behind there. So that's what you want. And you want to now select A, and you just need to select these two, and you're going to break them apart. So now basically you have a, let's go ahead and shift lime green, left click on the X to remove the fill. And now if we go Command Shift P and remove the running, you can see that it's going to stitch all the way around like that. This area right here is to prevent bunching. So if you come to your satin column tab, that short stitch inset is set at 15% of the line. So you'll want to change that if you want to try to fill that in better, if it doesn't look good. But that generally is a good amount to kind of offset that stitch so that it fills it in without being too heavy in the middle where all these stitches are very close together. So you can hit apply and quit. That's one way to make a donut. I'll show you how to make a smaller one. So let's go ahead and save this one. Set that, add that. You can delete that. So just an easier way. Select your circle. This time I'm going to make it 20 by 20. Come to your stroke style and make that 4 millimeters. Around 4 millimeters is good. You could go 5 millimeters if you'd like. And yeah, now you can go extension, Inkstitch, Satin, convert line to satin. It's going to take a second. And now it's added all your rungs. You can see this is now larger than 20 by 20. That's one of the downsides of doing it this way. It is easier, but then you have your line on the outside. There might be a way to put the line on the inside. I'm not familiar with that method. I'll try to look into it, but it's gonna kind of alter the size overall of your, and you can, make it smaller and make it fit inside that square. But now this is not 5 millimeters. It's made the width whatever it needs to be to fit inside that square. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it like that, and let me undo it so that I can keep it at a 5 millimeter line. So it kind of depends on what you want it to be there. And it is very easy though. So it's not something that you necessarily have to add to your library because you can just make it very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and change the name of this one to be that, and so that's pretty much it for this basic shape library. If you think of any more basic shapes that you feel you might want to use a lot, maybe like a teardrop shape, which is kind of what this petal is. Maybe you want like a pill shape or a rounded square shape with the satin around it for making patches. Feel free to add them or create another library with patch shapes, which is what I plan to do. So as a final step, we're going to save this into the correct folder so that our basic satin shapes library shows up in our symbols drop down menu. So you can clear the guides, delete all guides, and just leave this as a blank page and save it under the name Basic Satin Shapes. And then you're going to go to Inkscape settings or edit preferences if you're on a Windows machine. So I'm going to go to settings. And then if you click on system here on the left side, it's highlighted, you will see all these um, paths to your folders where you want to save things. So user symbols, this is the path. So you can open that, and this is where you would want it to be. And you can copy symbols as a path name. You're going to go File, Save As. You're going to paste that entire file name there. You do need a slash in front of basic set shapes. So it's going to put it in the correct folder. I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to close Inkscape. Well, you should be able to just open a new file. And go ahead and widen that. And go to Symbols. It should be down at the bottom, Basic Satin Shapes. There's all your shapes you created. You can drag them, unlink them, edit, clone, unlink, clone. Command Shift P and easily add them to your design that way. going to add a trim after that. I probably should have added that in my library. But that's how you can create a basic satin shaped library in Inkscape and Inkstitch. And you can reference it later at any time and add these basic shapes to any design. Thank you for watching.